Greetings. Peace be with you. So this is a public service announcement to stop jerking off so that you can reclaim your power. Okay, who are you? What are you? Without your power, you are a weak man that is easy to control. And I've made so many videos on the benefits of retaining your life force energy, the benefits of semen retention. But it seems like this is still an issue that so many of us go through. And I know speaking from personal experience that breaking the chain of the constant busting nuts to pixels on a screen every single morning, every single night is something that I was stuck in for a while. So I know from personal experience that this is not an easy path to go down, but it does become simple once we accept how hard it is. Now, like I said, I'm going to be sharing with you from my personal experience, not only that, but the scientific evidence, so that I'm sure you're aware of the benefits, right? The glowing skin, the more confidence, the better testosterone levels, all of the benefits you are already aware of, but you continue to engage in this destructive behavior pattern. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the negative side effects of busting nuts to pixels on a screen on the dimension of your mental, physical, and spiritual health. Okay, and make sure to stick to the very end of this video, because really this whole agenda is spiritual warfare. It is here to suck away your spiritual energy so that you stay asleep and are easier to control. Okay, let's talk about your mental development and how the destructive behavior of busting nuts to pixels on a screen is destroying your ability to show up as the most capable version of yourself. Okay, there's a region of your brain known as the ventral striatum. Okay, I'm going to link out to a bunch of studies as well below this video in the description so that you can dive deeper into them, so that you know I'm not just here speaking a bunch of words. This is something that is very imminent to your development. If you do not stop this habit, it will be impossible for you to level up on the area of your mental, physical, and spiritual development, because there will always be something holding you back. Okay, and I know this is an issue, and I know that it's hard, but like I said, once you accept how hard it's going to be is when it becomes simple. Okay, just not doing it is simple, but it's very, very difficult. Okay, now like I was saying, the ventral striatum of your brain is the region known as the reward circuitry. Okay, it's associated with the release of dopamine. Now, you've probably seen some videos about dopamine, about how you should do a dopamine detox, but understand that dopamine is a neurotransmitter which motivates human behavior. Anything that you do on a consistent and regular basis is because you get a dopamine spike from it. You eat food regularly, you get a dopamine spike from it. You play video games, get a dopamine spike from it. You are busting nuts, you get a dopamine spike from it. Okay, this is our ancient chemistry that is wired for us to do things that benefit us. And the people that have created this whole system of prana graphy that comes in to suck out your energy, they are very aware of the way that the brain works, and for this reason they've created these pixels. That is the large reason that the internet spread to the extent that it did, right? Even to this day, these prana graphy websites get more traffic than any other website out there. I think that prana, when you search that up on Google, it has more results than when you search for weather. Okay, so the ventral striatum is the reward circuitry of your brain, and when we rewire the reward circuitry to favor this reward of the spike to pixels on a screen through busting a nut, what that does is it takes over parts of the brain that are associated with getting a reward from social processing. Okay, really allow this to sink in, because I look back at my own experience and this makes so much sense, because when I was stuck in that loop, I had social anxiety, right? When I was busting nuts every single morning and every single night, I couldn't go and talk to someone. I was nervous. I was shy, quote unquote. I was scared of talking to someone if I found them attractive. I couldn't even get my voice out there. My heart would start beating out of my chest. And the reason for this is because it is scientifically proven to hijack areas of the brain that are associated with social processing. Okay, this is a widespread issue that so many of us struggle with, which is just the ability to be ourselves. Like, there's someone that is of the same species as you, right? They're no different than you. other than on a very, very small scale, like a minuscule scale, and we're scared to talk to them. What the heck is that, right? This is something that is scientifically engineered to hijack that area of your brain. And the reason that pornography is so prominent everywhere is because they want this to happen. They want you to have social anxiety. They want you to be scared of talking to people. They want you to be weak. Why? So that you can be controlled. Okay, mentally your brain is being hijacked by this. Now the ventral striatum actually determines the extent to which a stimulus is rewarding to us. Okay, and another area of the brain that's hijacking, like the same area of the ventral striatum, but another dimension of the ventral striatum is also that it gets activated when we are experiencing a raise in status. Okay, when we get like a promotion at work, when we experience financial gains. Busting nuts is hijacking that same area of the brain. And again, this makes so much sense because when I look back at my life from that point, when I was stuck in this loop, I was broke, right? I knew that, okay, I want to start my business. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to stay consistent with my business, but I would never follow through with it because it was just so much easier to get that cheap thrill in the moment, okay? I knew that I wanted to be more confident. I wanted to conduct myself in a certain way, but my brain was hijacked. I literally could not act in alignment with what my values were because my brain was hijacked. My mind had been hijacked. Okay, so it's so important to understand this. There's so many studies that show a direct correlation also between the amount of gray matter in the brain, which is the seat of decision making, and what is your life but one decision after another. If you were to look at your life like a chain, each link on that chain is a decision, and the seat of your decision making is your gray matter in the brain, which again gets reduced the more prana that you watch, more pornography. And the reason I say pornography is because this stuff is designed to suck out your prana, right? Your life force energy. So the gray matter in your brain associated with your decision making is reduced, which means that you are less likely to make decisions that are serving you, right? You are more likely to make decisions that are not serving you based on external stimulus. Okay, so important to understand this, and I really want this to sink in because once you're aware of the negative side effects is when you can be more likely to let go of it, right? The positive benefits of semen retention, yeah, they drive you forward, yeah, they pull you forward, but I think right now we need that push, man. We need that push. We need to wake up to the negative side effects of what is really going on at the core. Because I remember back in my, I wasn't aware of this information. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man, like I love it, I love watching these pixels. It makes my day, like if someone would tell me this, I would just like reject them. I would be like, yeah, whatever, this guy's missing out, right? But it's so important to get an awareness of this because there's a reason why it's so addictive, right? There's a reason why, because it hijacks primitive parts of the brain that have been wired to reproduce, to go and expand and go and to procreate. But those same regions of the brain are being hijacked by these pixels on a screen. Okay, so mentally it's just destroying you. Now physically, it has been shown that the more hours of pornography that someone watches, the less likely they are to have sexual sensitivity, meaning that they are more likely to experience ED as well. Now, again, this is something I can relate to. I don't know of your situation, because when I finally was beginning to go out there and meet people, I remember the first situation that I was with someone, I just couldn't get it up. Why? Because again, my theory is that the regions of the brain that are associated with actually developing a deep, genuine, passionate, loving relationship with someone have been hijacked by the pixels on a screen, which means that it gets that dopamine spike from the pixels, but it doesn't get that dopamine spike from the actual interaction, which means that the blood flow does not go to where it needs to go, and then we experience ED. Right? So physically it's destroying you, mentally it's destroying you, and really I think the root of this is spiritual warfare. What do I mean by this? If you study the ancient Eastern traditions, they all tell us, right, that sperm, semen, your seed is spiritual, high octane fuel, which if we learn how to transmute, can become our gateway to genius, to waking up to what we are capable of being, to experiencing that higher level of consciousness and awareness. And really this whole agenda, I think even what we're going through right now on a global scale, is spiritual warfare, is keeping people stuck in that materialistic frame whereby we think that this 5 sense reality is real, and then we just get so attached to maintaining an image that we forget who we really are as eternal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. You are not your mind, right? The fact that you can observe your thoughts means that you're not your thoughts. You are not your body. The fact that every single cell of your body is going to be different a couple of years from now means that you're not your body. So who are you? What are you? That is something that we go on that journey to explore, to dive deeper into, and it's the most can't even describe words to it, man, because this is an everlasting journey of exploring who you are through your creations, right? Consciousness informs itself through its creations, and you are pure consciousness, and the way that you experience who you really are is through your creations, and your creations are fueled through your creative energy, which again is rooted back in your sperm, in your semen, which is the source of your creative energy. And when your creative energy has been hijacked is when you can't express yourself, is when you can't create new things out there, put them out there, and that is when you can't really know who you really are, okay, as pure consciousness, as pure awareness that is having this temporary experience. And that is what causes us to do things to each other, because when we wake up to this reality, we realize we are all each other living different lives. We are all this consciousness. We are all the universe experiencing itself through these different perspectives. But when we're caught up in the material reality, when we are letting our seed go, then we can't let these ideas germinate. We can't let this higher consciousness germinate because we are too focused right here on this illusion that is around us, okay? So I'm going to link out to a bunch of studies below so that you can really let this sink in and really experience the negative side effects that will occur if you go down this path, if you keep going down this path. Just go visualize your life like 5-10 years from now. Imagine that you're been mentally, physically, and spiritually hijacked. What would your life look like? Really feel into that pain so that you can learn to let go of this destructive habit, okay? And as Napoleon Hill talks about as well, a failure to regulate our appetite in this direction, right, is amongst the leading causes of failure, right? When we can't regulate this high octane energy that we have to express and creatively go out there and, you know, creatively express ourselves, that is when we get trapped in the cycle of consumption, right? Consumption and just letting go of our energies, okay? So I hope that this is something that you take to heart and something that you are practicing. If you are already, I commend you for that. Keep going, stay consistent. And if you aren't, if you find it difficult, just really wire in the negative side effects of this, and you will be more likely to follow through over the long term. Okay, so with that, I conclude this video. Subscribe if you have not already. Leave a comment below letting me know your journey, your NoFap journey, what's going on with you. I love opening up the discussion. But with all that being said, I will leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator, wishing you much strength and much fortitude in your journey in becoming the man that you are capable of being. Okay, much love to you. Take care.